What's up, you guys? This is Adam Gillespie with Rancid and Sweaty Calves coming at you with yet another video. And in this one, I'll be covering something that I previously touched on but didn't really get too in depth on. That is the audience versus critics score for the Black Adam movie. As we all know, the critics have rated this movie at a very low score, and the audience has rated this movie at a very high score. And the larger media groups have been starting to get criticized by people on the internet, Twitter, Instagram, social media platforms, YouTube, people like myself, for their ridiculous nature, okay? For their ridiculous grading principles, for their ridiculous nature, their ridiculous lies that they have pressed in the past about films that deserve way lower ratings than they actually got, but are somehow rated at such a high level. And the title of this, as you can see, Legacy Media Critics Trash Black Adam Face No Accusations of Being Racist or Review Bombing. If this would have been the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power series that was created by Amazon, which is not Lord of the Rings, it's some sort of stupid, bizarre fantasy nightmare that nobody actually wants to see because it's nothing but a garbage writing fest. If this was that movie, and if this was that show, and the audience was reviewing it the way that the audience typically reviews something, which is honestly, the audience would be accused of being racist. Because there's a black elf, there's a black dwarf, there's black people, there's black whatever, there's black hobbits for no reason. And it's directly in opposition of Tolkien's lore for the Lord of the Rings. Whereas this movie is based off of an Egyptian character played by a half Hawaiian or half Samoan, half black man, and the critics are trying their best to destroy this film. I think there was actually a quote from David Zaslav saying that he didn't want to have to, he's saving money for his holiday, vacation or something, because he didn't want to have to pay the freaking critics off so that they would review it positively. And there's been no outcry except for there's been no outcry in general at all for the critics to be canceled because they're saying something negative about someone, a character of color in a fantasy story. Which is ridiculous in and of itself that we have to bring this up, but that's the modern world that we live in, where that's a consistent thing that happens. Now, I do want to show you something. This is the Black Adam Rotten Tomatoes score. It's sitting at 39% for the critics and 90% for the audience. I think it fluctuated down to 89% for the audience for a short time, but as of right now, it is at 90%. But if we take a look at some of the other more recent films that have come out, take a look at Black Widow, a movie that was absolutely trash, poorly written in every regard, has a 79% on the critic score. 79%. Now, it does have a 91% audience score, and I think that's a lot because audiences hadn't woken up to the garbage that was being injected into their stories just recently. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, as you can see, the audience score slowly starts to dwindle down, and this is a 74% from the critics. Certified fresh, and that movie was absolute dog water. And now we have Thor: Love and Thunder, a movie that was worse than both those movies combined. 64%. Still rated fresh by the critics. 77% from the audience. But you see a consistent through line through all of these things where it's a Marvel movie gets all the praise in the world, even if it's the most disgustingly stupid and horrifically written storyline that you could possibly imagine. It gets all the praise and love and adoration, and everyone looks at it and goes, oh my gosh, it's amazing, because it's a freaking Marvel movie, and that's the in thing to do now. But if it's Black Adam, if it's a DC movie, the trend is to trash it, because DC movies haven't had the best track record in the box office, apparently. These critics are incredibly hypocritical. They lie about everything. They've never told the truth about what movies are actually good. They tell the truth about what movies they liked based off of their political agenda. And since this movie this Black Adam doesn't support their political agenda, at least not blatantly out in the open, and they weren't paid off to say something positive about it, they're trashing it. And it's up to the audience to say, hey, no. The critics, they're wrong. This movie's fun. It's enjoyable. Doesn't have any of that woke politics bullcrap, and they bring back Henry Cavill. This is directly in opposition to the old regime at Warner Bros. Probably another reason why the critics are butthurt is because their old Warner Bros. Regime is being swept out the door and they no longer have the connections they used to have. So they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to review bomb your show, your movie, whatever else it is. And look, I think anyone has the right to review anything the way they want to review it. I really do. Because that's freaking common sense. But when critics and other people constantly attack the audience for pointing out major writing flaws in films, pointing out major writing issues, pointing out lore a divergence from the lore in something like Tolkien, and call them racist, sexist, homophobic, or bigoted because it's a race swap, gender swap, sexuality swapped, or identity swapped character that no one asked for, and they call them some sort of bigot or istophobe because they point out that, it's ridiculous. And these critics aren't facing any of that backlash because they're the elites. They're part of the elite squadron of Hollywood reviewers or some other bullcrap that they think that they are because they think they're better than you. Now, Black Adam, not a 90% in my mind. It was a fun, decent, okay movie that didn't have major writing flaws every second that it was on the screen like Thor: Love and Thunder did. But it's definitely not a 9 out of 10. It's definitely not a 90% out of 100%. It's not the best movie of the year. It's just a fun, enjoyable movie. That's all it has to be. But nevertheless, the critics are hypocritical and very hyperbolic. And what else is new? I mean, this is common knowledge, isn't it? This is common knowledge. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and share this video out there with your friends. That's two of the best ways to boost the algorithm is by sharing videos and commenting down in the comment section. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and if you wanted to, you could also follow me over on Rumble or Patreon. I leave links to those in the description. I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day and a great rest of the week.